everybody, I'm Vasel. Welcome back to another review of a shelf in the Dice Tower Library. Today's going to be a little quicker than normal because the games are so large. And they're kind of stacked sideways because these are odd-shaped games. So we're going to start right here at the very top. You see Quartifacts. Now, Quartifacts is actually a box that's holding Quarriors. Back in the day, I ditched my box of Quarriors. And so in this is everything for Quarriors. Now, Quarriors was the precursor to Dice Masters. It's a very fun game. Quarriors was really popular back in the day, and I haven't seen anyone play it since. I don't know if this ever gets checked out of the Dice Tower Library, which is sad because it's such an excellent game. Underneath Quartifacts is Lords of Waterdeep, and then directly underneath that you see Scoundrels of Skullport. Now, actually, both of these are Lords of Waterdeep. It's just that the bottom one, Scoundrels of Skullport, even though it has a thinner box, has everything in it. It was my personal copy. I eventually got another copy of Lords of Waterdeep because the game is fairly popular. It does get played. And both of these copies are fairly blinged out. I have a lot of cool upgrades to both of them. This worker placement game using a Dungeons & Dragons theme, fantastic. Then underneath that, the really giant game there, Battlestations. You may never have heard of this game, and honestly, it's going to come out of the Dice Tower Library at some point because it just doesn't ever get played. Battlestations is a game in which it's cooperative of sorts, and you are a group of people on a ship, and this game has two halves. You fly through missions, and there's this big map, and you fly a spaceship around, and there's enemy spaceships. But the enemy spaceships might board your ship, or you might board theirs, and then you build the enemy spaceship or your spaceship, and you move around and fight on board. It's almost a role-playing game more than anything else. I like it, but who's going to play it at a library? Over here, the top one is Return of the Heroes. Now, Return of the Heroes came out way back when there were very few fantasy games in existence. For whatever reason, this one worked. It's basically a pick up and deliver. You go here, you quote-unquote fight something, then you take that mission back somewhere else. But it does work. There's dice rolling. Back in the days, this was a very fun game, and it's still worth pulling out and giving a try. Underneath that's Endeavor, Age of Sail. Endeavor, not that big of a game actually. The Grand Gamers Guild made a very beautiful version of this one. I have not played the new one. I played the original Endeavor and I liked it. And Grand Gamers Guild does a good job on their stuff. After that we have Millennium Blades. Millennium Blades, a game about collecting card games. It's like a CCG. Well, it's about you being someone who collects CCGs, which is surprising, but there's a ton of content here. It's a time game, but doesn't feel timed. I don't know how to explain it. It's really unique and different than everything else out there. Definitely worth checking out. Ave Cesar, one of my favorite racing games. Ridiculously sized box, but Ave Cesar, you're just racing around a track 3 times, playing cards. It's mean, vicious, but very light and fun. Then the last 3 games here, the games in this shelf don't have a lot to do with each other. Francis Drake, one of my games I'm always talking about, a big pirate game where there's 2 halves of each round. First half, you move around a town as far as you want to, but you can never go backwards and grab items for the second half, in which you send your pirate ships out and fight different ports and things. Space Alert is a game that is a real-time cooperative game from Vasel. Very silly, very fun, mixes programming with speed. So you're either going to love or hate this game. Personally, I'm on the love side. And then Boomtown, which I'm pretty sure is on this shelf only because it fits here. This is a town of flowers or something like that. It's an abstract game, but you're placing different tiles into a grid that you have in front of you, and I think it actually works really well. Of all the games on this shelf, this is a really tough one. What is my favorite game here? Man, Francis Drake is good, but I think I'm going to keep coming back to Lords of Waterdeep. I think this classic game still holds up well today. What's your favorite shelf on 12B, or favorite game, sorry, on 12B? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Vasel, and this has been another shelf in the Dice Tower Library.